Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Chris. This is my channel, I Am Toys, and this is the Hot Toys Tactical Suit Batman. So before we get into it, make sure you hit that 4K option on your YouTube browser and get this video in its intended resolution. So this figure came out, I want to say, about a week ago or so, maybe about a week or two ago. And as usual, some of the first shots that came out were kind of bad, and it basically made this thing look like it had a pencil neck. And I'm not going to be doing a full-blown review of this. I just kind of want to show you some things that I love about the figure and kind of what I hate. I'll probably give you a once-over of the accessories. It's nothing really that groundbreaking. The main center point to this set is the figure itself. There's really nothing that's significant that comes with the accessories, except the exclusive version. You do get the block that comes with it, and again, this might be a nice display piece. I probably will keep it out with them, maybe not. I don't know, really, to tell you the truth. But overall, the figure's not bad. So what we're going to do is get into it, and I'll show you some of the ins and outs, and give you some shots of the neck, and you guys can kind of comment and let me know if you feel that it kind of looks like a pencil neck or not, and we'll kind of go from there. So let's get into it and not waste any time. All right, so here's a close-up shot of him. When this figure first came out, people were taking some pretty damn awful photos of this thing, and I don't know why people kind of I don't know why it happens all the time, man. I can't stand it. But the neck is definitely not as pencil looking as I initially thought. It's not as bad. Angle matters a lot, especially in some of the photos, and even on the camera it still comes across a little bit pencil-y. But honestly, it's not that bad. It's actually okay. And again, I'm trying to show you guys some of the finer details in there, but there's actually quite a bit of muscle transition and so on in the actual neck. I don't know if that's actually coming through or not, because I'm at a wide shot here, but not a wide shot, but I'm not going to get into the nonsensical terms of cameraing right now, but I don't know. I don't think it looks that bad, like I said. So overall, I think it's a damn good figure, believe it or not, but I do have some gripes. If you look down here, you will see that the right piece of the leg armor is sticking up off of the leg. That's how it was out of the box. It's just not as form-fitting to the leg like it should be to the one over here. It's nice. This one's nice, lays flat. This one is not. Just kind of sticks up. And if I wanted to, I could try to take it off and blow dry it with some heat and see if I could, get it to form flex back to the leg itself, but I could care less right now, to tell you the truth. But this is kind of a once over. Just wanted to show you guys from the front. It's not a bad figure, man. Like I said, a lot of people hated the movie. I enjoyed it the first time I watched it. But now, honestly, to tell you the truth, watching it again, I didn't enjoy it as much. To tell you the truth, I'm not gonna lie. The faults definitely came out a lot more the second time of kind of watching this film. This is how it was. It just didn't. I don't know. It didn't ring true as much as the first viewing did, I guess we could say. But I don't know. But this thing, you got to be careful with how you pose it too as well, because the legs are kind of a little stumpy. It makes the figure look a little oafish. But you can kind of get around that. You just got to be careful the angles in which you're aiming the legs, and kind of not making sure that you put them too close together, because that will also make it look kind of stupid in poses. And you don't want to do that, because he looks totally retarded pretty much, and then the actual armor on the legs too, you want to be careful too in how you position it as far as posing too, because it's really going to give you a better look depending on what you do. So And obviously, you know, the interchangeable face plates too are going to make a difference too as well, depending on what you decide is the best presentation or look. You know, goggles down, goggles up, you know, action face, lips partially open, you know, whatever you want to do essentially. So I'll give you kind of a side portrait shot of this guy, kind of once up and down, and I'll do the same thing for the left, the right, the back, and I might give you a once over the accessories. And that's kind of it. I just really kind of want to show you guys this figure up close and kind of the details. It really does pop, man. It's a beast of a figure, and let me fucking tell you, it's huge. It is a big figure. It is a very big figure. This thing weighed a lot. So let's give you a side portrait shot of the figure, and we'll go from there. Okay, so here's the left side portrait shot of the figure itself, and as you can see, guess who did the sculpt on this? So-Young Lee, once again, did the sculpt on this, and it's very good. It looks like Affleck. It definitely is a good representation of him from the movie. Once again, I've said it before, I think she's the best sculptor, hands down, right now, that Hot Toys has. And that's just facts, man. If you can disagree with me if you want, but she is the best that they have right now. She is up there with K.A. Kim, man. And if she ever leaves, they're gonna be up Schitt's Creek, because nobody else in their repertoire right now is as good as her. And I'm not sure what K.A. Kim's reasons were for leaving and going freelance. You know, possibly she was able to make more money. You know, who knows? Someone explained to me before what her reasons were for kind of severing the relationship with Hot Toys, but I can't really remember, to tell you the truth. So, but if So-Young Lee ever leaves, they're going to be in trouble. She's really nailed a lot of sculpts. Almost just about all of them have been incredible. So, like I said, the left side for you. We'll do the right side, and then we will do the back just to show you the cape and how it drapes, and then give you a once over of the accessories, and that's kind of going to be it, guys. Like I said, it's going to be a quick video. Not really going to go crazy with articulation and stuff like that. You can go watch someone else's video if you want to see someone bend them all over the place. It's obviously a little stiff. You know, it's a big figure. It's got a lot of padding in it. Huge body. So obviously the articulation is going to be kind of average, or slightly below average, you know, because of how big it is and padded. But like I said, decent figure though overall. So let's get the other side in and keep rolling. So here you are. Here's the right side of the sculpt. Just as good as the left, obviously. But yeah, the figure's great. It really is. I mean, as far as, I don't mean great as in articulation and stuff like that, but just as in presence of a figure. Even though the movie is not that great, presence-wise, it really does own its spot, man, for sure. I'm gonna take some shots of him later. If you want to see like poses, really, I don't even know if I'll really do poses, but some still shots of it from, you know, different angles and whatnot. I'll post up some on my Instagram and give you kind of how he looks in the detail. If I had him in there already, and I mean, he's a big figure, man. You can have him in there by himself, and honestly, he looks great by himself. That's probably the best way to display this guy is on a single shelf by himself, or maybe with one other figure. But he's a big guy, man. Like I said, there are some gripes, you know, stubby legs a little bit, but if you angle the armor and the legs the right way, it's not as bad. So, all right, let me show you the back. The cape, believe it or not, is actually not that bad with this one. It actually drapes a little better than most of the other ones that Hot Toys has kind of put together in the past. So let's turn them around. So here's the back of the figure, back of the head, the old noggin. I didn't really pay much attention to the back of the head in the movie, so if that's accurate, you know, for sure, what the hell do I know? But I'm assuming it is. So the cape itself, you know, drapes pretty good. It doesn't fan out, doesn't look too ridiculous. Wish it was wired. I wish it was, they would bang out some capes like Unreal does. Check him out at his Facebook page. He makes some pretty great capes. So does Jackson too. Jackson also puts together some pretty nice wired capes. And the downside to having a wired cape though is when you put it in a detail, if you kind of got to have the figure backed all the way up, especially if you're going to have more figures kind of in there, you know, or how fanned out you're going to have the cape. Like I generally like to have the cape fanned out in the back, like the person, like the wind's blowing it to the side or up or something like that. Looks pretty good. So, you know, you got to be careful doing that because you might not be able to fit 2 or 3 figures in there if you do that. So it's something kind of, that's always been a downside. But if you model your cape and you manipulate it right, you can usually fit at least 2 figures, maybe even 3 in there properly. But like I said, and you guys saw this from the front already, it drapes pretty well. It's not horrible. And there have been some shitty capes that we've seen from Hot Toys in my time. So, in our time rather. So that's all right. So I'll turn this guy back around. I'll have the goggles down on him this time, so I'll at least give you that look, see what he looks like. Maybe change up a faceplate too as well, and get off of this boring backside. And there he is with the open mouth plate, or the action grill, and with the goggles down. And like I said from the front, you know, the cape drapes pretty well. It's not horrible. We've seen some horrible capes in our time when it comes to Hot Toys, like I mentioned before. So this one's not bad. So like I said, it's this figure holds a presence, man. You know, I'm sure. And you know, this figure, at least how I'm seeing it, like I said, the neck looks nowhere near as bad as what I was seeing in some of the photos, and the legs don't look as bad. I mean, like I said, they are a little stubby, but they're not as bad as some of the photos that I saw. And as you can see, the neck is not as bad as it looked in some other pictures. I'm gonna do some photos too, and I might even try to mod this neck a little bit, to tell you the truth, before I take some photos, because it is a little leaner. I'm not gonna say that it's not. It is a little leaner than it should be, but it's just not as bad as it was in the pics, guys. That's pretty much what some of the pics that you're seeing. It really does look a lot better in hand, and I think it's looking a little bit better in the video that I'm showing you here too as well. So hopefully that's kind of coming through. So that's really about it, guys. I just want to kind of show you what this figure looks like and give you an idea as far as detail and so on, and to kind of just give you my thoughts overall. So again, like final kind of gripes, you know, would definitely be, you know, this piece of the armor sticking up. It's a little bit of an eyesore, but you know, you don't really notice it unless you're kind of looking for it. And again, the legs, you know, they just look a little stubby. So you really got to be able to pose them, turning them in, out, make sure the armor's kind of lined up as well, so you don't look ridiculous. Shoulders itself too, really make a difference. And I'll show you kind of what I mean with that in a second, but let's show you once over the accessories, and we'll get back to what I was originally talking about. And there you go. There's all the accessories all bunched up together for you. So, you know, you get some batarangs, you get the grapple gun, you get some grapple accessories, obviously, some explosives, and, you know, some more, you know, basically grapple. You got the wing grapple gun, and then you have the hook line. As well, you get a combination of open and closed hands, as you can see, 2 more face plates, and a little grabber so you can change the eyes out. Right over here that you see on top of here, if that comes into focus, there you go. And you get the 2 sets of goggles, one to have lifted up on his forehead, and then another pair which I have on, as you can see here, to put on his face. All right, and then going back to the accessories, and then of course, like I said, you get the mother box. Sorry if I made any of you sick right there, moving around like that. But yeah, you get the mother box, of course, and this is pretty much what you get as far as accessories. That's it, guys, and the base. So I kind of just wanted to show you something about posing this thing. It's really dumb, but some people might not know to do it. They might, because sometimes people, when they pose their figures, they don't realize the full extent of articulation sometimes, and I've seen some bad poses. I've been guilty of it too as well, especially in the past. But I've gotten a lot better over the years, just like everyone has. You just got to start from somewhere, right? So let me show you what I'm talking about. I'll see you on the other side. All right, so final thoughts on this figure. Like I said, I do like it, but my overall gripe with this thing is that he's fat. Like he is pretty fat, but like I said, the presence is pretty good. But posing this guy is gonna be very important because thunder thighs over here. I mean, I'm telling you, like this is probably the worst part. This is probably what I hate the most about this figure are the legs. I mean, it's total thunder thighs, man. Cankles, I saw someone post as well. It's going to be very. I mean, this pose isn't that bad, but if you want to see some other shots that I have up, you can really tell that the legs are they're just big, man. They should have toned down, maybe, you know, I don't know, or just formed them better, padded it better, you know, something. I don't know. Did their research and development a little bit more fine-tuned, I guess, as trying to get it, because I'm telling you right now, with the way the armor is on the legs, if you don't have that kind of posed a certain way, especially with the legs, depending on the angle that you have it, it's gonna look weird. It just doesn't look, the anatomy just doesn't look good. Like I said, it like straight up just looks weird. It looks like he's got some kind of physical developmental issue. It's like not developmental, but physical development issue with his legs and growth or something. It's like, what the hell, man? Just doesn't look good. So you got to be really careful, really careful. You know, I find that the easiest thing to do is keep the legs kind of spaced apart. If you're doing like a general museum pose, you're not really going to be able to get them too close together, again, because the thighs are super thick and super big, and he looks freaking really weird if you try to. So I wouldn't even bother with that, and just be careful, man, because I'm telling you, you really got to space him right, or he looks awful. I find that, and I didn't do any, I didn't put any shots up on Instagram, and I didn't put any shots up, I don't think I put any in the groups, but you can check out Hot Toys, their blogger photos. I find that the legs look the best when they're dynamic posing, when they're essentially bent, you know, and so on. It actually doesn't look too bad. But when they're straight, they look the worst. I'm telling you. So what I'll do is actually bend the one knee and just do kind of a simple pose for you, and show you kind of what I'm talking about. And here you go, simple bend pose. Just pop the right knee up a little bit and have it on top of the Justice League emblem. And I space the back leg back just a little bit more. And you'll see what I'm talking about once you get this in hand. Trust me. You will see how fat the legs are, and you will have the probably most unenjoyable time just trying to get a museum pose where the legs don't look awkward and just, like I said, like he's got some kind of development issue. Suffered from a very young age and carried over into his adulthood. But as you can see, you know, looking at it, just putting the leg up a little bit, action poses are going to look much better. Just because I guess it flexes the knee, it pushes the disbursement of kind of the presence of the weight, I guess, kind of somewhere else, and I don't know, the definition just looks a little bit better. So again, just simply putting the leg back and bending the one knee and propping it up in like a kneel pose, it's tremendously better. You know, so that's really about it, guys. That's my final thoughts on it. Sorry I didn't do any articulation or anything like that, but you got plenty of folks out there who will do it for you, so don't cry like babies, okay? But anyway, that's about it. So hopefully I gave you a look at the figure, kind of showed you what this thing looks like, and kind of let you know what you can expect and what you're in store for. But overall, you know, I generally like it, but I do have a love-hate relationship with it, you know, presently at the moment. So, yeah, what are you gonna do? All right, guys. Deuces.